Greetings, dear friends of Honey, and you're welcome back to today's episode, which is mainly about emotional, pouring so much into social wellness. As you know, at the Honey Space, we bring you conversations that build in five key aspects, that is, emotional, social, financial, physical, and spiritual. Today's conversation is with a professional, and I'll allow her to introduce herself and tell us more about who she is and what is it that really burns her every day. You're welcome back, and if you haven't subscribed, I task you to subscribe, to like and share, but also give us your comments and also give us questions so that we know what else we can bring to you. Remember, it is conversations that build. You're welcome, my guest.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Anita. My name is Dr. Anita. I am the CEO and founder of Imanzi Counseling and Rehabilitation Center that is located in Kigali, Rwanda, in the sides of Kanombe. For those that know me, they also know me as a mother of 12. Matter of fact, 14 now. And so I am a proud mom. I'm a proud counselor. And I take my career very, very passionately because I speak into the minds of people. Like you said, emotional well-being, which is the fundamental aspect to all our lives. And everything that we do is based on our mind, our soul. And so, yeah, that's how I can briefly introduce myself.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anita, and I'm really honored and humbled to have you on the Honey Space. And it is, can I say it is obvious that you're here because Honey actually brings guests like you because Honey is driven by impact, community impact, and not just impact, but sustainable impact. And you're right, emotional wellness is that aspect of life that we deal with because we know for sure it's going to take us a long way. We are so much passionate about wellness.
Yes.
But in the wellness aspect also, we look at the different categories of people.
Yes.
And I know, Dr. Anita, you've been working with children.
Yes.
People might ask, 12 children, 14 children. In fact, they are 15.
Yes. In fact, yes, they are 15.
Yeah. Dr. Anita, many years ago, decided that she was going to take on the responsibility of taking care of children.
Yes.
Tell us more about how did that dream come to life? How did you think about taking on that huge of a responsibility? And when I look at you today, I know definitely you started that as a young child yourself,
Yes.
but you have children. So how did that come to exist?
Well, sometimes I call it a God story because I love the fact that everything we go through is for the purpose of building resiliency, lesson, and character. I grew up as an orphan. My parents died at such a tender young age. And so I grew up and I was raised by my grandparents.
So you
my
don't
grandmother.
know your parents?
Yes, I don't necessarily even know anything about my mother, but maybe a little fragments of stories from my father. So growing up as an orphan, regardless of the fact that I had family members and relatives, there's just this void that you grow up with as an orphan. And that spirit of orphanhood, it just grew stronger as I grew because I witnessed the difference between those that had parents and those that didn't. And so me knowing what it felt like to be an orphan, to be a person that needs another person, I knew that maybe somehow, somewhere, if I can connect with kids that are orphans, then I would understand what their needs would be. I remember growing up feeling like a hug was such a big deal. Someone to give you a hug and really give you a hug. It is an important gesture of saying, I love you, I care about you, I need you to be safe.
Mm.
And that is something that I lacked growing up.
Mm.
I never had an opportunity to feel hugged and spoken to in such a manner. I know that those who took care of me, loved me and cared about me, but with our traditions and culture, you know how that goes. No one just says, hey, I love you, or something like that. So I knew that's what I needed.
Yeah.
It's a long story, but to cut it really short, is when I was in Cornerstone Leadership Academy, where I was a student, and there was this character, a very Jesus-centered school, that everywhere we passed, they reminded us that we were important, we were wonderful, but most importantly, we were loved.
Wow.
And for the first time, I had someone articulately say it out loud that they loved me.
No.
And I didn't feel like I was worthy of being loved, of being hugged. And that's when I realized that this thing is real, it's healing. In that process, I started feeling like, how can I give back? What if I did the same thing? If I really want to feel this way, and I give it back, could I feel this way at the same time the other person feeling that way?
Wow.
And that is when I started hanging out with kids that were homeless kids or street kids, and I would just sit there and wait for them to pass by, and I would give them hugs, regardless of whether they were dirty or stinky or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I just found my home.
Yeah.
Whenever I sat with a child in need, an orphan, a homeless child, there was this connection of, I wished someone gave me a hug.
Yeah.
Could it be possible that this child, this very child in need, would need a hug? And that is what drove me to feel like, yes, I'm young, yes, I was a child, I didn't have money to pay rent or to buy clothes or food right away, but I had a big heart of giving a hug. And thus, whenever I met these children, I gave them a hug.
Yeah.
That's what really drove me to one child, to another, then to another, then to a home. The story is long. I have a book about it. For those who would like to.
What's the name of the book?
It's called Born Anonymous.
Born Anonymous.
Yes.
Wow.
So I share the details of
as
how
you speak, I have goosebumps.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
So yeah, as in the book, I detail how each child came into my arms. But what's important was to answer your question: what drove me and what inspired me.
Yeah.
It really is my own very experience of growing up with a void of that parental need of love and care, and that hug, just a hug, gave me a very good reason to feel like I can give it out. And to this day, I'm a hugger. I love hugs.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, I do love hugs, and I actually do that a lot with my own children. And thank you so much. And is that what gave birth to Lighthouse?
Yes, absolutely. As I finished high school, Cornerstone had these vision conferences where they empowered the youth, they spoke to the youth. And so this one particular conference was in Matimba area. There was a market there, and we were there for 7 days in a youth, it was a youth conference. And there were so many Cornerstone students and very many students from other schools. Now, they all sat in church and listened to the gospel, and I couldn't say that I was such a faithful Christian, to be honest. And so I never felt like sitting in the church and listening to a preacher from morning to evening and choirs was something for me. Even though it was great and good, I would say, matter of fact, as a counselor now, that I'm so ADHD that I can't sit for that much time and attention. So I used to get out and roam around the market. And in roaming around, I would run across kids. And this, I don't know what stood out for me in this particular conference, but in the market where I was, there were so many children that seemed completely carelessly running around. Some of them really orphans and homeless, and others maybe have someone. And then I glanced to this one mother who was nursing a child with fries in her eyes, and there's a little toddler there begging. And I just felt like I needed to talk to her. And it's from there that I started realizing there were so many homeless children in the market. And so in those 7 days, for me, I was spending my 7 days in the market connecting to these kids. Until one time I went to the conference leader and I said, I would love to invite some guests here on the last day of the conference. And on the last day of the conference, I did go and gather all those kids. I really wanted them to breast them. I never wanted to adopt them that day.
Yeah.
I didn't have any business to do with them. I just wanted to gather them as dirty as they were, as roaming as they were. I just wanted to take them to the conference so they can bless them, give them something to eat, a meal, because we ate lunch and dinner. So I took the kids. When I took the kids, everyone was stunned that I brought the kids, the homeless, hungry, dirty children,
to the conference.
And indeed, they fed them. We washed the clothes, they fed them. The pastors that were around were moved. And I remember one of them actually making a comment and said, "We've been here for 7 days and no one has mentioned the word orphans."
Wow.
And here we are. Anita, a very young high schooler, brought them in. And it's then that they embraced them, they fed them, they gave them drinks, and we had like a small party. Later on, I started hearing the word Anita's kids. Anita's kids. I was like, wait a minute, I didn't sign up for that. I just brought the kids so you can bless them. And then from there, a gentleman blessed us with a small little house in Matimba, very small, dirty looking, 1 bedroom. And he came to me and he said, if you would like a place for them to stay at, they can stay at the place.
God bless.
And it's then that really the birth of Lighthouse started, because then they called it Anita's Children's Home. And I just feel like the responsibility was so hard and so big to bear. Anita's Children's Home.
How many were they at the time?
At the time, I would believe there were about 10, 8 or 10. I remember in the conference being 12, but then I also remember at some point being 10. But that was the birth, basically, of how these kids came to be together in this one particular home. And now, because it was Anita's Children's Home, then I started to feel like I need to uphold to this name. I need to respect this title. But it's scary title. But I have to do something about this title. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna do something about these kids and feed them and give them clothing. But then how? And I remember really praying about it. I still have that journal from 2011, 2010 actually, saying, if God wants me to have these children, I will take care of them. I will be a good steward of them.
Wow.
And so that was the birth of Anita's Children's Home. Although later on, because of my name being at the Children's Home, I was like, wait a minute, let's change the name. At least let's make it Lighthouse, because these are not my children. These are community children. This is everyone. It's like that saying that it takes a village
to raise a child.
Yeah. This was not Anita's children. They were children of the village, and everyone needed to participate. So yeah.
So, and the community accepted.
And the community accepted, and they provided food and provided saucepans and provided a school. And so really, I sparked the journey, but I would say 100% the children have been raised by the entire community and the entire village, from United States friends, from Rwandan friends, from Ugandan friends. We're a big family.
Wow. Anita, I'm so blown away by it. I mean, this is an act of faith, and I would really say thank you for, you listening to the Holy Spirit. I mean, we're not so many on planet Earth that have dared. This is an act of daring.
Yes.
And thank you for that. Now, Anita, I know there's been a lot to learn on the journey. What are some of the lessons you could share with the Honey Space followers? But in the interest of action.
Yes.
If you could, as a teenager,
Yeah.
we have so many people out here who can actually either come and join in the
Yeah.
support of Lighthouse,
Yeah.
because today you have 14, 15,
Yes.
they can become 30
Yes.
if
Absolutely.
people can come to join hands.
Yes.
So what have been your lessons, along the journey?
Thank you. Thank you so much for that big, overwhelming question. Because lessons are so many. I can't tell you how much impact it has made in my life alone and the lives of the kids. But maybe I can categorize them into three main perspectives. One is that when God gives you a vision, He really does provide for it.
Amen.
And so it's easy for me to sit here and maybe applaud myself that, I've done a good job, or I have done such an amazing job. But I know it's not me at all, because I don't have the capacity, the ability, especially when you're raising 12, 14 children. People think of school fees and rent and maybe food, but there is so much details that go through raising that child. There is the emotional part of it, there is the financial part of it, there's the details,
the shoes,
the
sanitary,
nails, the sanitary,
the hair, the creams.
it's
for the
easy
body.
for anyone to throw up their hands and say, I can't do this. But it's through the journey of these kids that I've seen God's hand in my life. I always tease them and say, you think I blessed you, but you blessed me.
Amen.
So lesson number one being that God gives you a calling, you respect, because you better believe He who begins the good work carries it to completion. So He will provide for that dream, for that calling. So this, I don't even call it a dream or a goal, I call it a calling, because it's just God, me and God co-parenting. Lesson number two, I would say patience. Patience is such a virtue that none of us have.
That one.
Patience is just altering your emotions and learning to control them.
Yeah.
Because a child will do something and you feel like you just want to beat them or abuse them verbally, because you are also having your own traumas and your own damage and your own healing to do. And then you have someone's child, not even your child, but someone's child throwing a tantrum or making a terrible decision, and you can see that it's a terrible decision. And it takes so much out of you not to jump on the gun and start just yelling and screaming and abusing. And so we do get the meaning of patience through character and virtuous of just knowing that this is not something you do because you're so happy and you're going to get the applause or beat and you're going to be rewarded. You do it because it's teaching you, it's training you to have the virtue of patience and waiting. The third aspect of it is the moral obligation of knowing that what am I on earth here for?
Oh, really?
I can go to school and be educated, excellently educated, and have a job and marry and have a child and follow all the protocols of the society. But at the end of the day, I'm not here as a mountain. At some point, I'll die or I'll go to heaven. So what have I left on earth? What's my legacy? What's my purpose? My purpose. Everyone's question should be, what's my purpose?
What am I here
What
for?
am I here for? Is it that am I here for just eating and raising my own children? And maybe that's your purpose, and that's good.
But how much more?
But how much more? Because I am a firm believer that we were created to grow, to enlarge, and to really continuously prosper and grow and support and help and be educated and all that. But for who? For what? To love our neighbors as we love ourselves, just like Jesus teaches us. And so my purpose, I define my life as if that God's given purpose for me was to be a mother. And not just to my children alone, but to those who really needed to have a mother, as someone who grew up without one. And so I feel like even if I dropped dead today or tomorrow, I would die happy knowing that somehow along the journey there is a child I advocated for, and that child went to school, and that child found a place to sleep or something to eat. And so I think that my greatest lesson have been patience, has been purpose, but also above everything else. If God has put you here, He knows why, and He will provide. For whatever reason it is, He will provide.
Wow. Thank you so much, Anita. I mean, still, I'm so blown away, especially with the last part. What do we learn? We learn that when God gives you the vision, God gives you the calling, then He will provide. That is very, very powerful. Now, of course, I don't want to leave the Honey Space viewers without an action, something to do.
Yes.
What do you task the world to do? I mean, part of how the journey started, how you built it, how you're here, the lessons learned, but then what do you want the world to do? And how can they come? I mean, join hands with you.
Join hands with us. Well,
yeah.
Let me start with I'm a counselor. I'm a counselor, and I take so much pride in that. And so I operate in Kanombe as under Imanzi Counseling and Rehabilitation Center. I know that this whole journey has been a journey of healing, practical healing, as much as I am intertwining counseling and children and me raising children as their mother. It has not been an easy journey, because through that there was so much to learn, but also so much to heal from. And so first of all, I task the world to just be worldly kind, and to understand that having a vision, it can be tasking, it can be hard, it can be exhausting. And so in your kindness, as you're trying to do that, as you're trying to really do so much for your world, and maybe no one ever tells you well done or good job or whatever, it's easy for you to be discouraged. It's easy for you to feel overwhelmed. It's easy for you to actually feel like you don't have support. But the good thing I love about my children's home and Imanzi Counseling is that we work hand in hand.
That's right.
And so I just want to tell our viewers that we have a space where we can talk and share about our visions, our goals, our careers, our discouragements, our well-being. And so one is they're welcome. They're welcome for conversations, for when someone here, especially in our culture today, when we talk about counseling, people think of, oh my goodness, I'm a mess, or something has gone wrong. No, I don't think counseling is for people who are sick only, because if it's in that case, we're all sick.
We know.
So
that's true.
We invite people to talk, to have conversations, just like you're doing here at Honey Space. They can come to Imanzi for conversations, but they can also come here for such conversations, because they help you discern and learn and realize that you're not alone. A journey of helping others, or even if you're a businesswoman and that's your purpose, even if you're a mother or you are in a military personnel, that's your purpose. And sometimes you just need a voice, a space to share your thoughts, your concerns, your talents, your anything that you would like to share. And so Imanzi comes into that place to be able to talk about that. So people have a place to come, but also people also need to understand that it's okay. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to feel like you don't know exactly what to do. It's okay to have a vision and feel like you're panicking. You don't know if this vision is ever going to be provided for. All I can assure you is that if God has called you, He will provide for you. So it's important that people stay at peace, be kind, and continue to serve. We're here to serve.
Wow. Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Anita. And to be honest, for me, I am blown away, and I've taken it at heart. And thank you so much, our viewers. By the way, I want you to do a thumbs up. Even the gentleman taking this video is one of the fruits of Lighthouse.
Yes.
So that is not something to take for granted. However, as I think it's President Obama who said, just do it.
Yes.
If you have a calling, please don't wait for things to be perfect.
No.
And that's what we do at the Honey Space. The very first video was in the dark,
Yes.
but we are seeing ourselves grow.
Yes.
Because we just want to do it. We just want to create a space where people can come and share conversations that build.
Yes.
And I hope we will have so many more conversations from the Lighthouse, but also from the Imanzi. Imanzi Counseling and Rehabilitation Center. It is at Kanombe.
Yes.
And we will share the details in the description so that you can call out and go there for your own therapy or conversational space, a space that gives you the opportunity to air out anything that is, boiling, or anything that stops you from getting to your desired goals. So thank you so much, Dr. Anita, for today. And our viewers, we hope to see you soon in our next episode. Bye.